Good morning. Hold on, let me turn the music down. Oh, I'm like such a mess right now. Everything was going good, and then all of a sudden Twitch wasn't working. And I don't know what's happening. So I guess we're not on Twitch this morning on KRTD, but that's okay. Good morning, everyone. Let me get over to the comment section. All right. I already saw Warren this morning with the news in you know the thing. So good. So good. Thank you for the morning laugh. Oh, it was so worth it. Yes, you do know the thing. Newsy news. Good morning, Les Bones. I'm putting all of your guys' comments up just because I feel like it today. I swear, like when it's at 9, the music, it's like just perfect. See, you can barely hear it, but I put it up to 10 and I'm like, oh no, this is too loud. All right. I always forget to share my screen, so I'm going to start doing that now. There we go. Okay, good morning, everyone. All right. Nothing has happened this weekend. I already told you guys my weekend, and yesterday I just did work all day. Pretty much catching up on all my work, so that way I can start next week all fresh and new and clean and ready to start, whole new thing. Let me turn this music even more down. 6, 4. 4 is good. I like 4. Okay, I can do 4. All right. Yeah, so yesterday I just did some work, some video editing, got some of that stuff done, got some graphics stuff done. Started working some more on my new show, trying to figure that all out. What else have I been doing yesterday? Did some cleaning. Oh, I met my new next door neighbors. So we've got new neighbors that moved into the house that they were selling. She seemed really nice. I just met the wife. I guess she has a fiance and a 3-year-old daughter, which is cool. So there's gonna be another little kid in the neighborhood. And she seemed really nice. She's from the city. She just moved up here to the mountains, so she's what we call flatlanders. Yeah, so she's just moved up, or they just moved up here. And she was wearing a Good Vibes tank top and tie-dye Crocs. So definitely somebody I could see myself hanging out with. Oh, and her name, I think, yeah, her name is like Sage, I believe, which is really, really cool name. So like, like the sage that you burn. That's so, what a neat name. So yeah, I got to meet my new neighbor yesterday while I was doing some cleaning in the house. I was supposed to set an appointment yesterday to get the one baby cat left that I have, Burton, and mama cat fixed. So I'm glad I'm saying this right now, so I will remember to do it today. Yeah, gonna get my cats fixed soon. So yeah, that's what's been going on over here. Let's get started. There's my Google Doc, sorry. Okay, so let's get started on the news today. Make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see. Yeah, you guys can see it. All right, so we found out yesterday or the day before, I believe I just found out yesterday, that a Nord Stream pipeline, there was like 3 breaks in it. Seismologists are confirming that they are underwater blasts that were detected. So they're saying that it could be foul play. I grabbed both sides of the stories. I got an RT article and then an AP article, just to get both sides of the story on this. Scientists in Denmark and Sweden registered underwater explosions near the Nord Stream pipeline on Monday when several major leaks were reported. Here's the video, or here's a picture of it right here, which looks crazy. Sabotage is now believed to be behind the damage. There is no doubt that these were explosions, said a seismologist. Danish military released aerial footage of the leaks, where it shows like bubbling water. Here's the video right here. So that you could see like the discoloration in that area. And then they're going to zoom in a minute. Well, I guess it's less than a minute. But you'll be able to see like right there. See right there. It's bubbling. So that's what they're taking that as, is they're seeing it. See how it's bubbling right there. So that's what they're seeing. Oh, there's a second one right there too. I didn't even see that. That's crazy. And see, there's the discoloration of the oil in the water. So earlier in the day, Moscow said it had been looking into reasons behind the leaks, suggesting the pipelines were targeted in an act of sabotage. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said that currently no option can be ruled out on the causes of the incident. This pipeline was built and completed in 2011 on the Nord Stream 1, and then Nord Stream 2 began in 2018 and suffered numerous delays due to political pressure and sanctions from the U.S. The pipeline was finished and pressurized in September 2021, but never actually got online. So 2 days before the start of Russia's military operation in Ukraine, German government put its certification on indefinite hold and had repeatedly rejected any suggestions, both domestic and from Moscow, to open the pipeline. Well, this thing went from decent size to really freaking short. This is where I ended reading this today. So here's another picture. This is what AP is reporting. Blast proceed Baltic pipeline leaks. Denmark believes that deliberate actions caused the leaks. European leaders and experts pointed to possible sabotage amid the energy standoff with Russia provoked by the war in Ukraine. Although filled with gas, it wasn't doing anything. It is the authorities' clear assessment that these are deliberate actions, not accidents, says a prime minister. Obviously not an expert like what these guys were getting. That's just speculation. But she added, there's no information indicating who could be behind it. See, so they're just making blatant blank threats, empty words. The incident overshadowed the inauguration of a long-awaited pipeline that will bring Norwegian gas to Poland to bolster the continent's energy independence from Moscow. The first explosion was recorded early Monday, and then a second stronger blast northeast of the island that night was equivalent to a 2.3 earthquake. But they said that it's definitely not an earthquake. They're going to inform and reach out to Russia in this case. Denmark's Foreign Intelligence Service didn't see any increased military threat against Denmark after the 3 leaks. It said they created a foamy white area on the surface. Images released. They can't say how long the leak is going to go on for, as the gas has not been turned off, which is ridiculous. There's no indication when the gas would be turned off. The German operator is preparing a survey to assess the damage. Currently, it's not possible to estimate a time frame. Izzy, stop. She's literally making that sound while she's going to the bathroom. The acting prime minister says it's probably a case of sabotage. Like, it's just crazy how like they automatically go to like blaming people, and stuff without actually knowing who it is. Anderson added that neighboring oil-rich Norway has informed us about increased drone activity in the North Sea and the measures they have taken in connection with it. Okay, but who's doing drone activity in the North Sea? Izzy, psst. Sweden is not ruling out any scenarios, and they'll not speculate about motive or actor, even though they already are. That's so crazy. The escaped natural gas is made up entirely of methane, the second biggest contributor to climate change after carbon dioxide. See, that's why they need to just stop it. Izzy, get down. Izzy, psst. Hold on, let me squirt bottle my cat really quick. Psst. Go somewhere. Get somewhere with that shit. I can't believe you actually got up there and is bugging him. Sorry about that. Goddamn cats. Okay. So where were we? David Hastings, don't care. Okay, said much of the gas would rise through the sea and enter the atmosphere. He said there is no question that the largest environmental impact of this is to the climate, but methane is a really potent greenhouse gas. Obviously, this is why we need to stop and get away from this stuff. Methane is 82 and a half times worse for the climate than carbon dioxide over a 20-year period because it so effectively absorbs the heat of the sun. Absolutely. Their Polish prime minister saying it's an act of sabotage. The era of Russian domination. Oh, God, they're like saying some just evil things about Russia just because that's what they like to do. The leaks raised the stakes on whether energy infrastructure was being targeted and led to a small bump in natural gas prices. So gas prices went up because of it. I don't even care what any of this guy says. Don't care any. Let's see what this guy says. He said perhaps someone sought to send a signal. Why would that could happen to see? Like, why would Russia send it? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, just seems like name pointing, like blame gaming and stuff again. Yeah, kitty, bad kitty, exactly. It is sabotage. The Beastie Boys warned us of this. So true. So I don't even want to I haven't gotten this far yet, so I'm like afraid to read something out loud that's gonna get me in trouble. Energy clash with Europe and Russia since the invasion of Ukraine in late February, even though it was an invasion. Right, gas prices have been soaring, but that's because they're treating gas like diamonds. So one possibility is Russia signaling. See, why do they keep blaming Russia? Like every single one is on Russia. So here's a picture of it. Here's the 3 cracks. I think those 2 are the one where we saw the 2 together. But there's the 3 cracks. Looks like Germany, Russia. I think that's the end of it. Yeah, okay, so I did read the end of it. He says, in any case, this is a stark reminder of the exposure to risk of Europe's gas infrastructure. Well, then start doing gas a little more environmentally friendly. Maybe we wouldn't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Just saying. What? Right. Yeah, exactly. I know, poor Izzy. She's back in heat again. So, like her babies. Burton is just he's 4 months and 1 week old now, and she's already in heat again. So she just has been making that noise everywhere. Doesn't even matter. It's so wild how she's acting. All right. Let's get on to the next one. I know it's from NPR, whatever. It's the only most recent thing I could find. So a Navy nuclear engineer and his wife are entering new guilty pleas in a submarine secrets case. So this shit's hilarious. All right, so this is the lady over here, and this is the guy. So it's Diane and Jonathan. In Charleston, West Virginia. They entered new guilty pleas on Tuesday in a case involving an alleged plot to sell secrets about nuclear-powered warships, a month after their previous plea agreements that had called for specific sentencing guidelines were rejected. So Jonathan and Diana pleaded guilty in a federal court to one felony count, each of conspiracy to communicate restricted data. The U.S. District Judge last month rejected the couple's initial pleas to the same charges, saying the sentencing options were strikingly deficient considering the seriousness of the case. The couple then immediately withdrew their initial guilty pleas and set trial for January. The previous sentencing range agreed to by lawyers for Jonathan had called for a potential punishment between roughly 12 and 17 years in prison. Prosecutors said Tuesday that such a sentence would be one of the most significant imposed in modern times under the Atomic Energy Act of 1954. Prosecutors also sought 3 years for Diana, which he should get 3 years too. They would face up to life in prison under the latest plea agreement entered Tuesday. The couple would face a maximum sentence of life and a $100,000 fine, although their prosecutors are asking for a sentence for Diana, at least at the lowest. If the court doesn't accept the agreement, the defendants, again, would have to go right to withdraw their guilty pleas. Prosecutors said that Jonathan abused his access to top secret government information and repeatedly sold details about the design elements and performance characteristics of Virginia-class submarines to someone he believed was a representative of a foreign government, but who was actually an undercover FBI agent, which sucks for that guy. I feel so bad for him. And in here, it doesn't even tell you what country this FBI agent was undercover as, like a foreign government. Like, it won't tell us. So these memory cards were left at dead drop. So Diane, who was teaching at a private school in Maryland at the time, was accused of acting as a lookout at dead drop locations that had memory cards with secret information that were left behind. The memory cards were devices concealed in objects like chewing gum wrapper, peanut butter sandwich. The couple was arrested after he placed a memory card at a dead drop in Jefferson County, West Virginia. None of the information was classified as top secret or secret, falling into a third category considered confidential. So he should only do like a couple of years. I think what he was doing was just giving them the energy efficient like plans of it, you know. So FBI said that he offered to sell Navy documents. The FBI shared the scheme began in April 2020 when he sent a package of Navy documents to a foreign government and wrote that he was interested in selling to that country operations manuals, performance reports, and other sensitive information. He included in the package, which had a Pittsburgh return address, instructions to a supposed contact for how to establish a covert relationship with him. That package was obtained by the FBI in December 2020 through its legal attaché office in the unspecified foreign country, unspecified. That set off a months-long undercover operation in which an agent posing as a representative of that country made contact with him, ultimately paying $100,000 in cryptocurrency in exchange for the information this guy was offering. The country to which he was looking to sell has not been identified in court documents and was not disclosed in court. Prosecutors said the government has recovered classified information that he had saved on electronic devices, along with substantial amount of cryptocurrency. During a search of the couple's home, they found a trash bag of shredded documents, thousands of dollars in cash, valid children's passports, and a go bag containing a USB flash drive and latex gloves. Diana's lawyer at a December 2021 hearing denied prosecution assertions that cited 2019 messages exchanged by the couple in which she had contemplated fleeing the United States to avoid arrest. Instead, the defense said it was contempt for then President Donald Trump as the reason behind the couple's immigration plans. So they wanted to leave because they didn't like Donald Trump. That's hilarious, right? I feel so bad for him, but like, y'all got busted. Y'all like literally fell for that shit. You got by the FBI. So stupid. Poor people. No. Good morning, Holly. Hello. Nice to see you. Globalist, yeah. PlayStation memory cards. Jesus Christ, bro. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's those submarine simulator games. Or it's what is it? Call of Duty. Submarines. It's like Subnautica Call of Duty. Good morning, Nikki. Good to see you. It's so early in the morning. Oh, that shit is so funny. So yeah, that's what happened. I hope they, like I said, I hope they only get a couple of years. Like I said, like it was saying in here, it's only it's not even classified. Well, it's like not even like one of the top tier, classified stuff. It's more of the lower tier stuff. So it looks like they're just battling it out in court, figuring out what they want to do, whether they're going to take it to court or do a guilty plea, which obviously they're already pleading guilty. They're just trying to figure out a lesser case and time. So that's what their lawyer is probably doing for them, is trying to fight for a lesser time for them. So let's get into... Right. Oh, virtual hug. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Yes, I was talking about it yesterday. The wedding that I went to. I only threw one up on Twitter. I don't like showing myself off too much. But yes, thank you. It was I love that dress. Oh my gosh. It was so pretty. I felt like a superstar. The only thing was like I felt super overdressed at the wedding. I almost felt like I was going to like a red carpet event, like an awards, more than I was going to a wedding. Everybody had like cute flower stuff on. And then there was one girl that showed up to the wedding that had a dress just like me, but hers was a long sleeve that went off shoulder, but it was all black, flat, like fancy, flashy, glittery, all that stuff too. I was like, yep, me and you will go hang out tonight. It was so funny. What's so crazy is I asked the bride too. Like I asked Stormy, I was like, is it okay if I wear black? Because the colors of the wedding was black, purple, and green. So I thought she was gonna, maybe do some like black and purple dress or black and green dress. Because when I got there, the groom was wearing black suit with like green stuff all over it, like neon green color. It was really cool. So I thought she was going to come out in like some greens and blacks and stuff, but no, that girl came out in a black dress too. I was like, oh my God, she's wearing a pretty black dress, and mine's like super fancier than her. I mean, hers was fancy, but it was like one of those black dresses that are like short, and then it's got like the lace that goes all the way down over it, that's all floofy. but my dress was like super long. So I felt so, oh my gosh. But she liked my dress. She said it was pretty. So yes, very Ursula. Yeah, very Ursula under the sea. How did Stormy look? She looked beautiful. She did. I I only have pictures on my phone, but she was gorgeous. Her daughter had like a matching dress, and like I said, he was wearing this really cool suit. More like a one of those straight suits. The guys wear not like the button up ones, but like the ones that go up to like a turtleneck almost. And then he had somebody design the back of it, which they're witches. They're all witches, pagan people. So they go to like this special lady who can take symbolisms and astrology signs and turn it into like your own unique symbol. And so that's what they did for his jacket. He was able to wear that, but her dress was gorgeous. I mean, her titties were, hanging out as usual. Her veil was black. Like I said, the dress was like a tank top and it was short. And then, but like over the short skirt part of it had like the flowery lace, black lace over it that went, really long. It was really cool. I think, hey, Dodger, what's the point? I think the only part that I didn't, because I loved the wedding and it's not even like, my wedding. So I don't even need to say like whether I liked it or not. It was weird that there was like when she was walking down the aisle, there was no music. And I'm used to like, it's just because I'm so used to tradition and music when somebody's going down the aisle, but it was very nice. It was really cool. It almost kind of looked like how my wedding looked with like this cool, flowery, like nature draped in the background, with like pretty stuff on the side, but theirs was like obviously a lot bigger. They had two people doing their ceremony, a woman and a man. They opened up a pagan circle, opening up the elements and the north, south, east, and west. Just doing a pagan spirit circle protection. They did the hand nodding, where they held each other's hands, and the priest or the guy, not tied around their hands. Like I was saying yesterday, the original symbolism and meaning of tying the knot, it's a pagan tradition. They did all that. And then afterwards, like I said yesterday, it was a very, very small wedding. There was maybe only like 15 of us at the actual wedding. It was the after party is when people started like hopping in and coming in. They only wanted to invite the people that were like witchy. They didn't, because, in the industry that they're in, there's all different types of people. So for their wedding part, they only wanted to keep it very witchy and people who understood the pagan traditions and stuff. So it was very few of us for the wedding part, but afterwards the party was just buck wild. I'm surprised nobody actually jumped into the pool or anything. I mean, everybody was pretty, calm. Everybody pretty much was like all in their own little cliques. Certain people would walk around and, saying hi and stuff and all of that. Poor Stormy and Barrett were like absolutely exhausted by the end of the night. Like they kind of just hung out in the stoner circle with us by the end of the night because they were just so tired of just talking to everybody and making sure everything's going good, especially Barrett. So it was really funny. It was really fun. I had a blast. It was really, it is a different style, but I'm used to it. Like my wedding was the exact same way. My wedding was black and red, very witchy. I had my kids, we built homemade brooms, and we swept like dirty energy down the aisle. We did all the regular pagan traditional kind of secular weddings. That's kind of how California is. We do that stuff. It's really cool. I love it. Good morning, Shane. You need to get your ass back out in Boston and go hang out. You're like, vacation is almost done, bro. Yeah, right. Lady ready to defend me. I don't even know what that was. There's like, I think maybe the next door neighbors were walking out of their house or something. So yes, I did enjoy it very much. Very exhausted, very tiring. I like had a beer and a half and like I was good on the one beer and then I started drinking the second beer and I was like, no, 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 no. I forgot I'm not a drinker. I don't want to pass out in the middle of a party. So that's when I went over to the stoner circle and just hung out and drank a lot of water until I sobered up a little bit and then I was all right. So yes, it was a lot of fun. very, like, very cool. I felt very fancy. I don't ever get to dress up and feel fancy and all of that fun stuff. So it was really cool to be invited to her wedding and be able to do that. It was really neat. I felt very special. All right, let's get on to the news. All right. Starting next week, you guys, we'll hang out and start doing some fun stuff. Today, I still have to listen to Shane. As obviously, he's all up in the comments, like Jimi, get back to work, and then I can just hear him right now giggling. Okay, let's get going. Because I got some really cool stuff at the end too. Like a little, it's not even personal, it's just more local, but it's something really big that happened. And then we're gonna go kind of dive into it. Not dive into it too much, but a little bit. I think it's actually the next one. So we'll have like a good little time to go over it and watch it. So here, Cuba, thank you, Warren, for sending me this yesterday. I did not have any time to do it yesterday, so I saved it for today. Saved my little tushy. It's clean, don't worry. Cuba approves same-sex marriage in a referendum. Yay, Cuba! So Cubans have approved a sweeping family law code that will allow same-sex couples to marry and adopt, as well as redefining rights for children and grandparents. Through opposition in the national referendum was unusually strong on the Communist Party governed island. I don't know why they always have to say Communist Party governed. Like, come on, NPR, shut the fuck up. The measure, which contains more than 400 articles, was approved by 66.9%. Nice. To 33.1%. The president leave it up to the LGBTQ plus people to make it 66.9%. Go. Get it. That slaps. All right. They told the news media, though returns from a few places remain to be counted, the reform has met unusually strong open resistance from the growing evangelical movement. Bleh. And many other Cubans, despite an extensive government campaign in favor of the measure, including thousands of informative meetings across the country and extensive media coverage backing it. Cuban elections, routinely produce victory margins more than 90%, as did a referendum on a major constitutional reform in 2019. They're right. They're rewriting or reforming their constitution. The code allows surrogate pregnancies, broader rights for grandparents in regard to grandchildren, protection of the elderly, and measures against gender violence. President who has promoted the law, Miguel Diaz-Canel, who has promoted the law, acknowledged questions about the measures as he voted Sunday. He said most of our people will vote in favor of the code, but it still has issues that our society as a whole does not understand. And that's the big part, is that they're only against it because they don't understand it. That's a lot of why people are okay with making laws that actually are degrading and hurtful for regular, for everyday people that you sometimes don't even know exist, is because you just don't know, and then they fear monger. Fear is a very, very, very powerful tactic, especially in religious circles. Now he's saying, so on Monday he celebrated the approval of the measure, tweeting, "Love is now the law," which is adorable. Passage is to pay a debt to various generations of Cubans whose domestic plans had been waiting for years for this law. As of today, we will be a better nation. The measure has been approved by Cuba's parliament, the National Assembly, after years of debate. A major supporter of the measure was Mariela Castro, who daughter of former President Raul Castro and niece of Fidel Castro, just saying. She was super supporter of this measure. She's the director of National Center for Sex Education and a promoter of rights for same-sex couples, and she is the niece of Fidel Castro. But there is a strong strain of social conservatism in Cuba, and several religious leaders, they're expressing their concern, worrying it could weaken nuclear families. Fuck yo, nuclear family bullshit. Nobody wants to live in a nuclear family anymore. Like, why? What's the point? The whole gender roles and all of that stuff. Like, no, it's just to put the woman down and the child, and then work the man to death to where he can't do anything but work. While Cuba was officially and often militantly atheist for decades after the 1959 revolution, uh, my phone dropped when I went to go get the cat, and now it's buzzing on the floor. So some churches took advantage to campaign against plebiscite, which would have rewritten the Constitution in a way to allow gay marriage. Opposition was strong enough that the government at that time did back away. Let's see what this says.
By Patrick Oppman, Cuba has...
Oh, yeah, I forgot. This is like some weird one where I have to read it. They increase protections for minorities on the island. The country's National Electoral Council on Monday. Oh, the Electoral Council said 71 of those eligible to vote in Sunday's referendum had turned out to cast their ballots, with 94% of the votes counted as of 9 a.m. Eastern time yesterday, or Monday morning. 3 million had voted in favor, signaling an overwhelming support for the new law. A new family code extends greater protection to women, children, and the elderly, as well as allowing LGBTQ couples to marry and adopt children. For decades, LGBTQ people in Cuba faced official discrimination. A daughter married, talking about Mariel Castro. In 2018, they abandoned provisions that would have legalized same-sex marriage amid fears that a homophobic backlash would have lowered turnout for a referendum to approve a new constitution. They always got to bring up the fear stuff, see? The following year, Cuban police broke up a peaceful LGBTQ rights parade, saying the marchers did not have permission to hold the rally. Cuba's growing evangelical community, in particular, had openly advocated against approving the family code. But in the weeks before the referendum, Cuban government made a full court press in favor of the new family code across the state-run media, arguing the new code is proof the island's now more than 6 decades old revolution is capable of adapting to the times, which it absolutely is. That's really cool. Yeah, did you hear it? Bzz, bzz. I would never live in a nuclear family because you can get radiation poisoning. Exactly, it's dangerous. Like, why would you want to live in a nuclear family? What? According to real communists, this is a bad thing, right? I don't think so. No thanks to that. All right. Where am I? Okay, yeah. So that, I believe, is all of that, right? Nothing left on that. Nope. All right. Starting to get down to the wire. Anything else? Okay, let's get into the last one. All right. So over this weekend, 47 California deputies who failed their psychological test were stripped of their guns and put on desk duties, 47 of them. So up in Oakland, California, they stripped 47 deputies, pretty much 10% of the force, of their guns and arrest powers because they failed psychological exams in the wake of a fatal. So recently, one of the police officers shot 2 people. So in the wake of a fatal double shooting committed by a former deputy. They're saying that it was horrible to have to relieve the deputies of their duties. The station obtained a copy of the letter notifying the deputies of their change of status last Friday. The deputies will still receive their pay and benefits, of course, but they're going to be behind desks pushing papers. The movement came after the sheriff's office conducted an internal audit of deputies, which I think they should be doing that to all sheriff's departments across the country. So an internal audit of deputies' psychological examinations from January 2016 to the present. The letter notified a deputy whose name was blacked out in the copy that the deputy had been graded D, not suited, in a psychological evaluation, and under the state law couldn't serve as a peace officer. Oh. Okay, USA Today, you are just so full of ads, aren't you? Here, let's watch the video.
Right now at 9, dozens of Alameda County deputies are now on desk duty after failing their psychological evaluations. We're going to discuss the case that led to those demotions. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Vicki Leviakis.
And I'm Grant Lotus. The arrest of Deputy Devin Williams is what sparked this internal audit. He's now behind bars, accused of killing 2 people recently. Crown 4's Amanda Harry joins us now live from the newsroom with why the department says it still hired people who did not pass the evaluation. Amanda?
Good evening. The Alameda County Sheriff's Office Public Information Officer tells me it's because of a law change. Prior to 2016, receiving a D on your exam was considered passing. Now it's considered a fail.
We're being transparent.
As it should.
Forward,
Jesus.
The issues that went on here.
On Friday, 47 Alameda County Sheriff's deputies were stripped of their duties as law
Like,
enforcement officers.
Really quick, if kids in high school and in regular schools get a D, it's not passing. It's in college, if you get a D, it's not passing. You go to your next semester on probation. It's not passing. Why are these guys able to have Ds and pass as people who are supposed to serve and protect our community, who have guns and powers beyond regular civilians, that are able to get Ds on a psychological exam of all things? Just throwing this out there. Let's continue.
After receiving a letter from Sheriff Gregory Ahern.
Obviously, this was very devastating news to them. They had no idea that they did not have the passing score that was required.
Want, pity them, boo-hoo, shut the fuck up. It's not like they're even getting any money taken away. They're doing the same. They're literally going to be making the same money by doing a lot less right now. So why are they complaining? Do they want to go out there and shoot some people? Is that what it is? Because that's why they failed it in the first place. This is probably because they have psychological problems. They want to go out and shoot and hurt.
So a lot of them were in shock when they were initially delivered the news.
Lieutenant Ray Kelly with the Sheriff's Office says they did an audit of their department after one of their deputies, Devin Williams, was arrested in connection to a double homicide. That's when Kelly says the office determined that a D, not suited, is no longer considered a passing grade.
As we looked into the file.
So it took a deputy shooting. I think the situation was like he was dating a girl and she didn't tell him that the deputy that that she was already married. So he went and shot them both. I think that's like at least the basics of the situation of the homicide. So it took that for them to audit and come up with the fact that D rating is not a good rating and not passing. It took that. It's crazy. Yeah, exactly. The female cop on TikTok telling people to get out of her way. Like, yeah, exactly. Like what she was saying in the car. Like, get out of my way. Like, come on. Yeah. No cops left. No cops left behind.
We began to see that the rules had changed and the information and guidance that we were given from the state was inaccurate, and that the scores that we thought were passing were just below passing. And as a result of that, the people that we had employed would not qualify with their psychological exams to be peace officers.
The deputies who failed will be on desk duty until they take the test again and pass it. Kelly says the test is
and pass it, probably because they're purposely going to change the numbers to help them pass it. I bet you they're gonna jib those numbers up. I put my, I don't know. I put my right arm on it. No, I need that one, my left one. I can deal without it.
not as straightforward as an SAT or IQ exam.
It's based on your emotional intelligence and a bunch of other factors.
That's what I was into, was right there, was that part. So we're going to get into it in a minute once this video is over and I'm done reading. We're going to get into what this psychological exam is, just so you guys can get an idea.
Young people, fresh out of college, with very little life experience, very little work experience, tend to not do as well on the psychological exams as people with more life experience.
Kelly said,
do you see how he was doing it with it, like blinking and like stuttering, because he's only telling a part of the truth. He's omitting so much. Like, okay, yeah, kids just freshly out of high school are not going to do well on a psychological exam. It took a deputy that killed 2 people, that was already a deputy and was probably in his mid-30s, that did this for you to do the audit. Like, there's something psychologically wrong with these guys and these girls or people that are being cops, that have been in there for 5 to even 30 to 40 years. There's something wrong with them all the way up the board, because having that power starting off as a kid, yes, I get it. But you guys are not, what they're not understanding is having that power starting off as a kid and continually having that power with no repercussions, no discipline, no accountability. They're gonna get this God complex that's gonna fuck up their psychology, that's gonna fuck up their mental state, and it's gonna cause narcissism. Really bad narcissism. And that's the problem with a lot of cops, is that they're narcissists. Why just blame it on and omit all of that and just blame it on a bunch of new kids that are coming in? Like, way to end and stop even recruiting children. Like, kids are not going to want to go and join your thing now that you're saying like they're not going to be able to pass the psychology. Stop putting kids as cops then too. Like, there's a good fucking answer. Don't make kids as cops. 19 and 20-year-olds don't need to be police officers yet. They have training. They need to be trained, properly. Make sure their mental state is correct. Let's continue.
Says the retest will be conducted by
I went off there, my bad.
Police officer standards and training or post-certified psychologist who does not work for the sheriff's office. He believes most of the officers will want to test again. But for now, the about 1,000 remaining sworn personnel will be taking on a heavier load.
We estimate that it'll average about 20 extra overtime shifts will be added per week that need to be filled. We feel it's manageable on a short-term basis while we get the testing done.
One deputy has already taken the test again, passed it, and has been reinstated. Lieutenant Kelly tells me any deputies that do not pass the retest will be dealt with on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, like, don't allow them to be police officers. How about that? Deputies can be hired if a second examination declares them suitable, like we just heard. They want to resolve the issue as quickly as possible. They intend to have them return to full duty status. It's my neighborhood blue jay. They love making those noises. They are probably the loudest, most annoying birds around here. I mean, I can deal with like crows and stuff. Like, The owls sound great. Oh, and it's Mr. Blue Jay out there. And the cats are all at the window right now. They're like, I want it so bad. Hey, kitties. Kitties. You can't have it. It's outside. And there goes Izzy. All right. The audit followed the arrest. Okay, so he was 24. Still around that. Still young, but almost to that age. He's still a full-grown adult, though. He's charged with shooting and killing a couple. His mother said that her son had been in a romantic relationship with the lady and believed she was unmarried. Crime of passion, most likely. The station said 4 sources said he failed his psychological exam, even though he was hired. He turned himself into law enforcement hours after he was accused. So he didn't even turn himself in until after they accused him. His mother fears for her son. Blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Deals with race and crime. It accused the sheriff's office of previously turning a blind eye to the problem of unsuited deputies. See, so there's already been some problems and some accusations. Ella Baker at the Center for Human Rights, an Oakland nonprofit. So there's already been some problems with that sheriff's department up there. She says this further highlights the horrible levels of dysfunction and corruption that have plagued the sheriff's office for years. She said the department has been under enormous pressure to hire more deputies, and it was hard to find people for the tough job. Of course it is. She says, I know that people are going to assume that all these deputies are killers, but that's not true. Womp womp. If you have any questions, I would go see yesterday's KRTD show called The Money Puzzle with Rocco Million. He did an entire episode asking the question, are all cops bad? And discusses it. So we got 8 more minutes. So I wanted to go over this. I decided to Google it. California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, Step 5, psychological exam. Get ready for this, babies. Buckle up. It's going to get juicy. Juicy. Okay. Regulations, rules, and policies. Government Code Section 103 requires peace officer candidates to be found to be free of any physical, emotional, or mental conditions, including bias against race, ethnicity, gender, nationality, religion, disability, or sexual orientation that might adversely affect the exercise of the powers of a peace officer. When they say that in the video, when we were watching it, it said that it was a test to check the physical and emotional and mental conditions, among other things, of other people, or of peace officers. He decided to leave out biased against race, ethnicity, gender, nationality, religion, disability, sexual orientation. Pretty much the things that cops love to do right there. That's probably because the tests that they have done, when they did it, they didn't pass on these parts. And so that's why they allowed a D as a passing grade, because the bare minimum is what we should expect from the police in their eyes, I guess. So PSP adheres to the post-psychological screening manual, and its set of 10 peace officer psychological screening dimensions when conducting evaluations and determining the suitability of peace officer candidates. Psychological evaluation has 3 parts: 2 personality inventories, psychological history questionnaire about their history, and then an interview with a psychologist. So this is written peace officer psychological evaluation, consists of 2 written psychological inventories that are legally required for the selection of peace officers in the state of California. Each inventory includes a series of questions that help determine your suitability for the role of a peace officer. This gives you screenings, psychologist useful information to discuss during your psychological interview. Peace officer psychological screening interview. After successfully completing the inventories, they're going to be scheduled for a screening interview. The psychologist will gather more information on the day of the psychological screening. Then they ask you to how to get ready. This was different yesterday. They might have changed this because maybe there's been some heavy traffic to this page because of what's going on in the news. I'm not sure, but there was a lot more than this in here yesterday or last night when I was reading this. This has been taken off. That's crazy. Huh. Well, if you guys want to check it out, don't mind me. I'm going to put it in the comments. It's just I'm going to show up in the comments as KRTD. But there. Hi, babies. What's up, kitty kitty? Come here, honey. You are just in a mood today. Go off, Jimmy. Thanks. Yeah, the Blue Jays, they're a little bit smaller than crows. They're pretty decent size. They're pretty big mofos. They just have a really loud mouth, and it's the boys that sound like that. They're trying to attract. No, I don't know. So it's pretty messed up that citizens have zero control over the police that are paid by citizens' taxes. Yes. I think the police are state taxes. Yeah, absolutely. Kitty, come on. The police have to be non-union too because they get too many protections, right? Right. He's doing like that, like, and then like running sideways kind of thing. Yeah, it's always the boys. Yeah, right. He's crazy. Anyways, freaking wild ass animal. All right. So yeah, there's in the comment section, I put it in there. That's the website to maybe we can find the actual test in there and see maybe I didn't get that far, see what maybe some of the questions are. That's what I was thinking to do. Yeah, cardinals are the most vocals, wildcat, right? But I really want to get into it a little bit more because I ran out of time last night and I was so tired. It was like midnight when I was finishing this up. But I do want to at least maybe look and see if I can find the questions for that test. Because it just seemed weird to me that the guy that got interviewed like talked about what's in the psychology exam or psychological exam, but then left out like biases, like racist biases and, sexist biases and things like that. So that's what I want to see is what the test is. So there it is. We're almost done. Yay. So this is the last of the KRTD News Live. So you won't be seeing this background anymore after today. And I will be starting next week. It will be Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays to start off with. And it's just going to be laid back, pretty relaxed. Let me show you. This is kind of the design idea. This is the release. I have not released this yet, and I'm super nervous. So no judging, but hopefully you guys even like the name of the show. So, okay, I'm just going to stop procrastinating and just do it. So there it is. Let me see if I can, let me take myself off of here really So yeah, so there it is. There's the picture of possible color schemes for it. I decided to probably going to name it what. I thought of tons of different ideas of names. It's probably going to be titled what, but the stream titles are going to be changed and differentiated and all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I've got so far. So we start next week on Butamus. Thank you. Okay, the HTML. Okay. I mean, I can message it over to you, Les Bones. When is it? I think Izzy's gonna have. I think Izzy's going to have more freedom to do what she wants in the next show, in my next show, just because it's more laid back, not trying to be as professional and, you know, all that. It's just more of a laid back thing instead of bringing you, 4 to 5 news articles and make sure we get it out as quickly as possible in the hour. Izzy's got a lot to say because she won't that dick. She won't shut up about it. Like, she is in heat big time. Hopefully by the next time I see you guys, though, we would have already scheduled an appointment to get her fixed. Yeah, over there, Missy, little Miss Spay. We're going to get her spayed. And then she won't make that noise anymore. And her cute meows will be back. Because she sounds like a bird normally when she meows. Like, she normally does like the like that kind of stuff. But now that she's in heat, it seems like her hormones are like really super powered. So she'll do like the, but then it'll go to, it is so stupid. And I feel so bad for her. But I'm like, I get mad at her at the same time, like, bitch, knock it off. It's disgusting. Like, you're like running around in heat, letting everybody in the world know. But like, it's got to be to where she can't, she can't control it. It's just so much. And then that makes me feel bad for her. But she's hilarious. She's just, okay, kitties. She's so cute. No, she's not doing the pee-pee. She's standing outside of the window, or at the window right now, window seal, looking at Odin because she won't dare dick. And he's fixed, so he don't want nothing to do with it. She chases him around the house constantly, and he's like, nah. What? Oh, when is Izzy getting her own show? Oh, and Izzy wants, yes, Izzy wants a boo-boo. Yes, she wants it bad. It's crazy. That's why she's making that sound. I thought it was too soon. I thought, no way, her babies are only 4 months and 1 week and 2 days old. I literally know exactly how old her cats are. Her babies are. She's not ready. I didn't think she was ready, but I Googled it, and there was the Google saying that she could start in heat in like fall and be in heat all the way until spring. So she could be in heat for 6 months straight. I ain't dealing with that shit. Like, that for 6 months? Not that. Sorry. It's early. Oh, yes. So continuing with what I was saying about my show next Monday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to be a little earlier, which I'm super scared, but whatever. We're going to do it. It's going to be starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. What's going to happen is we're going to probably go for however long I want to. If I want to go for 3-4 hours, absolutely. I'm going to do the first 2 hours on all of our channels. And then after that, at 2, I will hop off of the main channels and just hang out over at Twitch. And we'll hang out for as long as we want to. And we will go and raid Nikki. That way I can raid Nikki for once, which will be fun and exciting. And it'll just be my own personal fun show that I get to do while I use KRTD's StreamYard. Right. Maybe. I don't know. I was thinking about using KRTD StreamYard for the Twitch while also simultaneously streaming on my own Twitch channel through my OBS, and then just screen grabbing it on my OBS from here on StreamYard. We'll see. I don't know. Warren, maybe you can hang out with me and help me out with that, and then we can get all that started, because yes, I want to go and raid Nikki. That's going to be fun. So yes, I can't wait. And all right, I'm going to hop out of here. Love you all. Thank you all for coming. Holly, of course, Warren, Les Bones, and Nikki. You know, I love you guys. Thank you. You guys are like my family. I love you all. I don't do that whole like family thing. Like I do, but like I know like the whole convo couch, they call each other like fam, and like how everybody's like kind of grasped onto that and stuff. But you guys are like really there for me, and I truly appreciate you all. You guys are amazing. So one more time, here's the picture. Yay! It's called What? Or me and my stripper friends used to call it What? It is coming this Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. Just come and find us here on YouTube at first, and then I will send you guys over to the Twitch once we get it started and get it rolling. I can't wait to see all of you guys there. And thank you all for coming. Let me see what you guys are all saying. Hearts, great show. Thank you. Can't wait till next week. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I love you all so much. Peace out.